How's it going? Dave from Sports Cards Investments. Thank you for watching my last video. It means a lot. And we're going to do another video all about Kabooms. That is right. This whole video will be all about Kabooms dropping in price, some of them by 82%. But, I'll flip it on the other side. There's going to be some Kabooms going sky high. That's right. They are kabooming all the way to the top one, 552%. That's how much it's gone up in value. So stay tuned for all those. And let's get into this video. So first up is we got the 2020 Kaboom CD Lamb. These are all going to be in a PSA 10 unless I specify. So it peaked in 2021 and it peaked for $22.85. That's right, $2,285. Where is it currently sitting at? It is currently sitting at $2,200. So it's just down 4%. Not bad. After 4 or 5 years, down only 4%. It's going to get worse as we go down. Next is we got the 2020 Chase Young Gold. This is going to be a PSA 9. Hard to find in a PSA 10, at least enough sales data. Anyways, it peaked in 2022 and it sold for $2,000. It is now currently selling for $1,860. That is down 7%. Then we got the 2024 Bo Nix Vertical Kaboom, because there was a time when they just did one. Now they kind of do vertical and horizontal. Anyways, the vertical one, you're looking at $6,900. It peaked in 2024, so pretty much when it came out. It is now currently selling for about $6,100. That is down 12%. Then we got the 2021 Tyreek Hill Kaboom in a PSA 9. Hard to get that PSA 10 in this card specifically. I don't know why. In 2024, it peaked at $580. It is now currently selling for $490, down 16%. In 2024, we got the Jalen Hurts Vertical Kaboom. It peaked earlier 2025, so kind of like before the season when all the hype was going around Jalen Hurts, and what ended up happening? Well, he didn't do very good. He didn't win the Super Bowl like he did before. In any case, $2,520 is what it peaked at. It is now currently selling for $2,880. That's down 17%. Now I imagine that the Eagles will probably be better next year. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the best days are behind them. And if not, this Kaboom will not be exploding very much anytime soon. It'll probably continue to go down. Next, we got another one that will definitely be going down a lot more in the future. 2022 Tua Vertical Gold Kaboom in the PSA 10. That's right. I think Tua's best days are vastly behind him, speaking as a Dolphins fan. Anyways, in 2023, it was selling for $3,550. That's probably around, his breakout year, doing all those cool throws and all those yards, and the Dolphins doing extremely well. Nonetheless, it is now selling for $2,275. That is down 36%. Then we got 2019 Baker Mayfield. In 2021, it peaked at $1,700. Is now selling for $960, down 44%. Now, I think that's a little premature. I think him on Tampa Bay, they're getting better and better. Now, Mike Evans did get hurt for most of the year, and their squad was not doing very well. But I think they have enough weapons, and I think Baker Mayfield is probably next year is going to be a fantastic year for the Tampa Bay. I think they'll do really, really well. They have an amazing offense, and I feel like it's just getting better and better, minus the Mike Evans getting hurt. But I don't know. I think I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I'm saying they'll probably go a little further than what they did. Here we go. Here is a quarterback that I never really liked. I never thought that was that good. 2024, we got J.J. McCarthy Vertical Kaboom. And it peaked when it came out in 2024 for $6,000. It is currently selling for $3,000, down 50%. Now, if you're someone out there who goes, you know what? I think JJ is it. I think he's the real deal. It's probably now a time to buy. That's why I do these things. I'm telling you what the sales are actually. These are actual sales numbers, and I'm just telling you what the sales are. And you can make the determination if it's a good time to sell these. Maybe they peaked, or maybe they're gone down and it's time to buy them. So if you're someone who thinks, you know what, I think JJ is going to have a great year, because let's face it, his first year he was hurt. His second year, they get rid of They get rid of the Super Bowl champion, Sam Darnold, for JJ. First year he took, and Sam Darnold was playing. Did an amazing year. Gave him 14 wins. Went over to Seattle, got 14 wins. Sam Darnold did. So then, they're like, JJ, this is our guy. This is our guy. So he has one good game in the beginning, and then he gets hurt. And then off and on throughout the season, he's hurt, not playing very good. And even when he was playing, he wasn't very good. He was terrible. He was just awful. Justin Jefferson, screwed. He's totally screwed because if you have a bad quarterback, you cannot be a good receiver. Hands down. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do if you have a bad quarterback and you're a receiver. Nonetheless, if you think JJ is going to have a bounce out year, or he's going to do a little bit better than last year, maybe it is a good time to pick him up. $3,000, pretty cheap for a PSA 10, because it could go sky high if he turns out to be as good as you think he's going to be, and he has Justin Jefferson. So if he can't make it work, I'm sorry. Next is we got 2020 Justin Herbert rookie card Kaboom. It peaked in 2022 at $13,500. That is quite a bit. Think about that. Look how high that is. Where is it selling now? It is selling for $5,500. That is down 59%. 59%. Wow, that has dropped quite a bit. Anyways, also another rookie card. We got 2023 Anthony Richardson's horizontal Kaboom. In 2024, so in the next year, it peaked at $2,400. It is now currently selling for $501, down 79%. So that is what can happen. You can be down almost 80% from someone who could be good to someone that turns out not to be good. And I'll show you the flip side of other ones that are kabooming in the direction of up and not down. And then last, for the ones going down, we got 2021 Mac Jones rookie card Kaboom. It peaked in 2023. I don't even know. He's playing for San Francisco now. Where was he before? Was it like Patriots or something? I can't remember now. Anyways, 2023, $3,800 is what it's peaked at. It is now selling for $700. He is just a backup. And 82%, down 82%. He's just a backup for, I believe he's on the Niners. And he did pretty good when Brock Purdy was hurt. So, I'm sorry, you're not going to command a lot if you're just a backup. Now, he could get traded. He might be good enough to start for another team, and that would boost his value. So, I know there's a lot of teams that don't have good quarterbacks. So, if he did get traded to a good team, I think he has the chops to be decent. So that $700 seems pretty low, if that happens. Now, if he just becomes a backup for the rest of his career, that $700 is way too high, and it'll go way, way, way down. All right, so let's look at ones that are kabooming in the right direction, kabooming upwards. In 2022, we got Nick Chubb, a gold vertical, and a PSA 10. That's right, it is peaking now. That means this is the highest. But when it did first come out in 2022, it was selling for $1,775. And now it's at an all-time high of $2,500, up 41%. So if you would have bought this back in 2022, when it first came out, the first one to hit the gates, these are actual sales, you would have spent $1,775. Now it's up to $2,500. Just 3-4 years later, up 41%. Then, person I was talking about, 2021 Justin Jefferson Kaboom. It was when it first came out, $1,950. It is now selling for $3,300. That is up 69%. So people think that maybe it's kind of weird. How can you have JJ McCarthy going down, but Justin Jefferson going up? That doesn't make any sense, because JJ is going down because people think he sucks, and he's going to continue to suck. Jefferson is going up because people think he's going to be good. But like I said, you cannot be a good receiver if you have a terrible quarterback. It's impossible. Unless you're one of those weird receivers that they like, shovel pass the ball to and they run, and they basically become like a glorified running back for a couple times. Or if you're one of those receivers that they pass the ball to, not pass, but you grab the ball and then you throw it, so then the receiver becomes the quarterback. I guess that could be true, like a Taysom Hill kind of thing. Anyways, nonetheless, people probably think he'll get traded. Maybe that's why he's kabooming right now. Next, we've got 2021. This was the best quarterback of last year. He won the Super Duper Bowl. Joking. Joe Montana in 2021, selling for $665. It is now currently selling for $1,750. That is up 163%. When you're going for those greats, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Only $600 for a PSA 10 back in the day, and now it's like $1,750. And that was in 2021 when things were at all-time high. Think about that. Anyways, 2019, we got Alvin Kamara. Wow, out of the gate, it was selling for $20.81. It is now currently selling for $7.75, up 176%. And like I said, these are all-time high. That means this $7.75 is the most current sell, and it's all downhill from behind it. Now, obviously, some of these, like, it goes up. Maybe it goes from like 281 out of the gate, goes up to 400, drops a little, maybe goes to 500. You know, ebbs and flows. But currently is at an all-time high. 2021 Derrick Henry. It was selling for $235 for a PSA 10. It is now currently selling for $700. That is up 198%. 2019 Aaron Rodgers was selling for $867. It is now currently selling for $3,000. That is up 246%. Then we got 2023 Josh Allen's vertical. Josh Allen obviously very good, but he came in with a lot of hype already, and this is his 2023, so he was already pretty good in 2023. But it was selling for $1,400. It is now currently selling for $6,100. These are actual sales. This is not me just pulling things out of the air. This is not me just like saying some random person on eBay is like, oh, I want $1 million for my card, and it's like, last known sale comp was like 10 cents. No. $6,100, up 336%. And here we go. We got the number one on the list right here. At least this list I have. Now, this is not every Kaboom. This is just the ones I decided to pull. There's lots of Kabooms. It'd be hundreds, if not thousands, I'd have to go through. But these are just some random ones I pulled. Anyways, 2019, we got Todd Gurley. Does he even play anymore? I don't think he plays anymore. If he does, he's like some backup or something, or doesn't exist. He does not play anymore. But anyways, out of the gate, it was selling for $230. It is now peaking. That is an all-time high. It is now currently at an all-time high of $1,500. That is up 552%. That is crazy. Now, I get it. 2019 was kind of a different time in sports cars and everything like that. Everything peaked in 2021. I mean, technically not. Things are peaking now, but things are sky high. Everyone knows during the boom times of 2021, everything's high. But some of these, came out in 2021, like this Derrick Henry selling for $235, now selling for $700. That's crazy, just crazy. But this Todd Gurley up 552%. I would imagine 2021 is probably selling much higher than the 230. Probably went up, came back down, up again. But that just shows you the power of the Kabooms. They're very interesting. They're quite expensive. And I would say if you have the right player, more often than not, they'll go up. Especially if you get something like a Joe Montana, right? The Joe Montana, he's not playing anymore. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, he's going to be this hyped all up and then he gets injured. And then you're like, oh, like a JJ McCarthy, depending on their play. Joe Montana's already played eons ago. So, I mean, if I was getting Kabooms, then I was holding them. I'd probably just go for a lot of Hall of Famers that have already played, because these Kabooms are booming. Anyways, have a great day.